Hey everyone, Faisal Abbey, body alignment and optimization. So I get a lot of questions about food, diet, weight loss, especially with COVID going around. A lot of people are asking about immune system stuff, and I've been promising for a while I'm gonna get this amazing person in, my go-to resource for all those questions that I just threw out there, Jessica Campbell. Everything nutrition you need to know regarding the body. So Jessica, just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little what you do with clients. I've had a great experience with you, and I just would like to share a little bit of that with everyone else.
Sure. Thank you for having me. So I practice nutrition and functional medicine. And functional medicine is sort of the opposite of dysfunctional medicine. It just looks at the whole body instead of specialized GI or specialized endocrine system. We're looking at all of the systems and how they're integrated and making sure that we're building holistic protocols to rebalance the whole body.
From my world in being involved with posture, body, chronic pain, I have a set of things that people always come to me for, right? And I'm sure you do. So I'm kind of going to start hammering at what some of those things may be. So I'm guessing weight loss is probably huge. People come to you for weight loss.
Weight loss is a huge one, and weight loss is a symptom. So I hate to just head straight into weight loss, even though everybody wants to get there. It's usually a symptom that something's out of balance. And so I try to uncover all that's going wrong in all the systems and see why is that happening.
Okay.
Why the body thinks it needs to store all of those calories.
Whoa, okay, so this is a completely different approach than what I usually hear, right? Like just restrict calories, just exercise more. So from your perspective, right, I'm a potential client and I go, Jessica, I need to start working with you. I want to lose weight. What are, like, from your experience, what are like the top 3 things usually going on with someone?
I think the most basic is inflammation. We tend to eat foods that cause a lot of inflammation. So sometimes it's not even weight, it's just puffiness. We feel bloated.
Like inflamed.
Right. We feel super inflamed. Okay. And so I try to put them into a 28-day detox, not a diet, but just a way to kind of let go of all the toxic things that are causing inflammation. And a lot of it's food, some of it's lifestyle, some of it's, as you know, posture, some of it's muscle tension and stress from work. So the detox kind of tries to remove the toxins gently so that you can find your own balance, and then hopefully, and typically, your body starts losing weight.
Okay, so that's beautiful, and it seems anti the mainstream weight loss philosophy.
Yes, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. And so I wanted to bust all the myths that you have to do a juice cleanse to lose weight, because it might not provide enough nutrition or enough nourishment or enough amino acids for detoxification to even happen. So it's more about falling in love with your food and eating healthy food and getting the nutrient-dense food and replacing the inflammatory food.
Okay, this is so good. Okay, so you said inflammatory foods, right? If you had to list off and the top 5, top whatever, it's up to you, right? I'm not gonna throw this in a box. The most inflammatory foods out there that are usually giving people issues, digestive issues, inflammatory issues, maybe even chronic pain issues, what food would it be?
So foods. It is different from everybody. I love that you said that. It's very unique. And then in the 28 days, I try to find what your inflammatory foods are. But for most people, it's like 3 things. And those 3 things are...
Let's do it.
I know. Just ignore these 3 things. Break up with them.
Yeah.
One's refined flours, like wheat when it's in a white flour.
Okay.
It's no longer a food. It's not what it looks like when it's the wheat grain. It's super processed, and your body just is, I don't know what that is. Put in a fat cell, stick it in the liver, and we develop fatty liver and inflammation.
Whoa.
It just doesn't know what it is. The second is all of the seed oils when they're fried, like we know, French fries, potato chips, we know. But also
my weakness, potato chips. Oh,
mine too. Geez, I can't even be in the same room as a potato chip. But they're actually allowed on the detox. You just have to make them.
Okay.
Right? You bake your potatoes, nice and thin, delicious.
Sweet.
And then you don't have to take away potato chips. It's not the food. It's the way it's processed or the way it's prepared. So, and finally, it's the sugars. We know.
Number 3 is sugars.
But the 3 is especially like an artificial sugar. I'm not saying fruit sugar that you have to give up every food that has natural sugars in it, but definitely those three things cause the bulk of the inflammation.
Can you give me more examples of sugars? Like if I was to have a little bit of raw sugar with my black tea, is that the kind of sugar you're talking about? What kind of sugar are you talking about?
Yes, I would try to move more towards maple syrup or raw honey or dates, things that are just naturally sweet, have natural sugars in them. But really the artificial sugars, a white sugar, even if it says like a cane sugar, or even if it says organic cane sugar, it's usually a processed, bleached, deodorized. Raw sugar's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I would still try to stick to whole foods with a little bit more fiber in them, like the dates.
Okay, so we got weight loss, we got inflammatory foods. What else? I'm guessing energy. People want to see you for more energy. They want to feel energized throughout the day.
Definitely. I think what's happening is people's blood sugar is sort of all over the place and we feel really tired in the morning. We can't quite get up. That's why we all want coffee or tea or some sort of caffeine. And then we sort of peak for a while, and then at about 4 o'clock we start dipping and dipping and dipping again, and we want that caffeine or maybe a little sweet, something to kind of kick it up again.
Yep.
And then by the time night comes around, we're ready to just pass out, but then an hour or two later we wake up and we can't go back to bed. So it's this energy that's sort of like all over the place and dysregulated, and so a lot of my practice is just helping find that balance. So you wake up bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to exercise, ready for the day, and then you gently, 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 gently slope down until at night you're ready to sleep.
What's usually wrong, and why are we all over the place? Why is that happening to us?
We are not eating enough protein. We're not eating enough high-quality fats, and we're eating too many carbs. We need proteins. We need amino acids. We need fats. We need high-quality fats. You've heard of omega-3s.
Yep.
We need fats. We don't need carbs. But we need fiber.
Yeah.
So we need fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, I've heard this a few times.
But we don't need the carbs.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine I follow, Dr. Aronica, and she says the same thing. She says the same thing. We covered a couple things. What else do people usually come to you for?
Sure. So I work in an OBGYN and pediatrics office here in Redwood City, so I see a lot of fertility clients. They call me Dr. Eggplant because I can help women get pregnant with just food, just changing their food.
All right.
And afterwards, when they get pregnant and have the babies, oftentimes the babies have a lot of food sensitivities because our food is just changing in the environment. So
all the time.
I work a lot with from birth to fertility, like what is going on with the food sensitivity and how can we change that diet to promote better energy, less weight gain, less symptoms that are...
So how someone is eating could be affecting them getting pregnant or not?
Absolutely. I have a great
This is news to me. I mean, I always suspected it because I think diet's a huge role in everything, personally, right?
So that was my journey. When I had a miscarriage, I was rattled thinking, I'm a vegetarian. I'm doing everything right. I don't eat fat. I don't eat all the things that, we were told in sort of mainstream media of what not to eat. But the second I started learning about eating real foods and listening to the wisdom of my grandparents and just the way that people ate ancestrally, I got pregnant right away. Like within a month, it was kind of crazy. So I just went, everything I learned was wrong.
Yeah. I'm really sorry about your miscarriage, and I'm also really glad that it put you on this track of really understanding this on like a somatic level.
Yeah. It made it real, and then I had 2 beautiful children after that, and it was...
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was just such a learning curve to me because not only that, but I learned with that first child who was all over the place, and the teachers were like, wow, we probably need an IP help in the classroom.
What's IP?
It's an assistant that comes into the classroom to help when they think they're on the spectrum and your child's all over this place. And at the time I was going back to school for nutrition and really started to study and how I could change the food. And then by 4th grade, they were like, whatever you put her on is working. She's so focused. And I was like, well, I took her off cereal and rice cakes and all the carbs, and I put her on a real breakfast and a real lunch and a real dinner and a real bedtime.
This is amazing. I'm sure there's someone out there listening right now who's like, holy shit, what if this is it? This is what I need. What if I've been looking at pharmaceutical drugs? What if I've been looking at all these therapists? What if I've been looking, and really, not to say that those things aren't important, guys, right? I'm not saying that, but there's also another tool. There's one more tool here, right?
And I would agree with you that we need all the tools. We need the therapy. We need the doctors to make sure that it's not something more serious.
Sure.
And we need the diet. We need the anti-inflammatory diet because it can make a difference.
Okay, so what would be another thing that you can kind of shed light on to wow us again, because I'm wowed so far?
I would say the immune system, and as we know right now, everybody's thinking about the immune system, but it's just so important to remember that we have the tools in our body to fight off things like viruses and to fight off things like bacteria. And sometimes we're just not listening to the body's wisdom of kicking up a temperature to burn off bugs that shouldn't be in the body and pathogens, creating stomach acid that we shouldn't be stopping with antacids because it's to kill pathogens and to kill bacteria that we all consume every day. So there's this innate wisdom of the immune system that when we really tap in, we see the life cycle of a cold, of an illness, and it makes sense. And you just trust your body's wisdom.
God, it's I wish we approached health and wellness from what you just said. You literally took words out of my mouth and the words I use in my practice to say what you just said. And I think for a lot of people, this would resonate, especially somebody that believes in their body's ability and believes in their innate power, right? And isn't necessarily pulled into this fear cycle that we all have. And they think to themselves, well, how can I be healthier so my immune system is stronger to fight off these things? Not necessarily just going down the rabbit hole, being more and more afraid, which really weakens your immune system and has the opposite effect of health. And
the most important thing to remember is that it's not the bug that's causing you the symptoms, but it's your immune system's reaction to the bug. So I get a pathogen, and my body reacts to it differently than the way your body will react 100%. To it when you get a pathogen.
Right.
So I try to let the inflammation go. Of course, there's a point where you get to a fever that you need to call the doctor. And I'm not saying never have your doctor's number handy, but we can go a lot further than you think. We can absolutely ride it out and not try to stop that inflammation with medication that might have a different side effect when we're really just stopping the immune system from its process. It's supposed to inflame.
And I like what you said about stomach acid earlier, and how there's actually, from my understanding, several different aspects to stomach acid, and all that really is happening is an imbalance of that at times, right? And it has to be rebalanced.
And it often happens from stress, and we know, because when you're all stressed out, you don't feel hungry. The body's basically diverting energy so that it's not going to digest, but it's going to deal with the stress at hand.
Sure.
So that puts the energy in your brain and in your muscles, not in your gut. So wait until you're calm. And I like to say, because nobody forgets this,
let's hear it.
Wait until your mouth gives consent to put the food in it. If it's not salivating and wet, don't put food in it. Your mouth needs to give consent. It needs to be ready.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we're just shoving.
I really like that.
Shoving.
I really like that. This goes back to the body's wisdom and awareness. Look, Jessica, thanks for talking with me today. I feel like we could sit here for hours, and maybe at some point, we will do a long one. How can people get a hold of you? Where can people find you? YouTube, Instagram? If they want to reach out and work with you, how would you like to share your information today?
Thank you. So all the information is on my website at foodfoundation.guru. And I have a YouTube channel where I do a lot of free videos to give you all of the information that we're talking about, but exactly which one you're looking for. If you're curious about the stomach acid, if you're curious about the immune system. I even have long form, hour-long courses if you're really interested. On Instagram, there's a video every day. It's my 1 Minute Healthier. If you just want one little tip in 60 seconds, and that's at Jessica Food Foundation. You can find it all there.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here with us. I learned so much, and I continue to learn so much from you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Jessica. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Faisal.
Take care, guys.